Hi, I'm Selena and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a book haul of all the books that I acquired or bought between basically like September-ish to now, which is the beginning of January. So I have Christmas here, Christmas books that I received for Christmas, books that people have just given me in between those months, and books I bought myself. And I will differentiate between them. But there's a lot of books to get through here, so let's just get started. So as many of you know, I have a friend named Udi who sends me a lot of books, specifically books that he thinks I will like, or that he wants me to read, or that he wants me to read with him. He's very generous, and thank you, Udi. In order to thank you, I'm going to show yours first. So let's just show the homage to Udi. Okay, the first book that Udi got me in this time period was Sufficiently Advanced Magic by Andrew Rowe. I really don't know much about this book, except for it is like a fun, self-published fantasy about a guy whose brother entered the Serpent Spire, which is this tower right here, like 5 years ago. And people enter this tower in order to reach the top, and if they do it, a goddess will grant them a boon. And so his brother went to get the boon and go up the tower, but he never came back down. And so our protagonist, the brother of that guy, goes up to find his brother, not necessarily to get the boon. But that's all I know about it. It's getting good reviews. It seems pretty fun. I'm excited to dive into this world and this universe, basically, because I know he writes in his own universe. And the next one that Udi got me is a traditionally published book called Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. You've heard of it, I'm sure. It's a very popular fantasy book. I had reservations about reading this, first of all, because I didn't know if I would like it, and second of all, because there's some not so nice things that Mark Lawrence seems to have done. I'm not gonna get into that though, but you can look that up on your own time. Basically, I wasn't gonna read this, but Udi loves the series, he loves the trilogy, and he sent me the first book to see if I could maybe like it as well, so I'm gonna give that a try at some point. And then the most recent book that Udi sent me is actually a book that just came out. Ooh, there's things inside of it. It has like things inside it, like symbols. I'm really excited for this now. It's called Winds of Strife, and this is also a self-published book, and I know it's about a witch hunter who is in this like cult of witch hunters or something, and he realizes that it's an awful cult full of hatred, and tries to, basically an opportunity presents itself to work from within it to like take him down, basically. And so he does that. And that's basically what I know about this book. But oh my gosh, can you see this cover? It is literally so beautiful. Like, I'm excited just from this cover and from that premise and from seeing the like tables and things and art inside it. I'm excited. Getting into some books I bought myself, I think in September-ish. The first one of those is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This is a adult contemporary literary fiction type thing. We basically follow a bank robbery gone wrong and a hostage situation, except it's really funny and the bank robber is really bad at being a bank robber, and it's really heartwarming and sweet and about so many things and about the personal lives of the people in the hostage room and how they all bond, and it's really sweet if you can think of a hostage drama, which it really isn't, as being that way. I gave this 4.5 stars. And it was one of my most anticipated releases, so of course I had to pick it up. Then the other book I bought in September was another release this year, and that was The Lives of Saints by Leigh Bardugo. At this time, I still was more into the Grisha trilogy. That's when I bought this, and I'm glad I did because it was a nice, quick read. It has a lot of beautiful art, but it's not something that was life-changing. I gave it 3 stars. And I just feel like that I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I still am glad that I own it because a little bit of completionist, but also like it was nice. On to the books I bought myself in October. I'm pretty sure what I bought, or maybe it was November, I don't know. Yeah, I think I bought this in October. I'm not positive though. And that book is, this is a duplicate copy. Basically, in that month, whatever it was, I read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, and I really, really loved it. And I've always loved the UK covers of that series, and so I decided to treat myself and get Starsight in the UK cover. This is a 5-star book. I love it. I display it right here. I'm gonna put it back on the display once I show it to you. I think it's beautiful. and so fitting for the series. The next book, I think I bought it in October, but I read it in November, is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. This was a 5-star book. I adored this book. Made it to my favorite books of the year. I'll link that. Starsight actually made it to my favorite books of the year too. So I'll link that video. I loved this book. This is a killer mermaid horror suspense story about a group of scientists that go to the Mariana Trench to study what they think could be mermaids, and they find them, and they are brutal. They are murderous, and they're hungry. We'll just say that, they're hungry. And I love this book so, so much. The next book that I got in November, I believe, was Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. The new release in Stormlight Archive. This is my favorite series. I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. I'm not going to bore you with a synopsis because if you go to literally any other video, you can find the synopsis. And then I loved Rhythm of War so much that in December-ish, November, December-ish, I bought the UK version of Rhythm of War. I love this cover. I love this spine. I love this book so much. I love this series, and I like to collect things that I love when they're beautiful especially, and I'm very lucky that this is beautiful, and I'm lucky that I was in a position to be able to do that. I'm extra. We know this. If you didn't know this, you know it now. 2 copies of Rhythm of War. 2 copies of this thick book. And then the final book I'm gonna show you is a book that I actually bought in the beginning of January, or the final book that I bought that I'm gonna show you is a book that I bought in the beginning of January, and that is Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. I know not a lot about this, except it's a military fantasy, and we follow a middle-aged mother and her son as there is a war brewing. This is also self-published. We have an ice and water-based magic system, and that exhausts the list of things I know about Sword of Kaigen. I'm gonna be reading it this month. I'm very, very excited about it. Now we get on to the Christmas gift portion of this haul. So the thing that Udi got me for Christmas, that was a book. He also got me a really cool pillow, but he got me a book, and that book is Steel Heart by Brandon Sanderson. He knows that I love Brandon Sanderson. He also loves Brandon Sanderson, and he really liked Steel Heart. This is Brandon Sanderson's YA like superhero story. I don't know too much about this, except I know that there's a villain, I think, called Steelheart, and it reminds me sort of the Mistborn synopsis, so I'm pretty sure David has to like take down this immortal superhero, and he has to do it with a group of like people who maintain justice. That's what they do. Okay. Yeah, I clearly don't know much about it, but I plan to read it in February, actually. Moving on to the 2 books that my boyfriend Mason got me. I will link a playlist of videos with Mason if you would like to meet Mason. The first book is The Eye of the World by not Brandon Sanderson, oh my goodness, Robert Jordan. The first book in the Wheel of Time. And I don't know anything about this except for it is epic. It is epic. I don't know anything. I'm gonna be reading this hopefully in March-ish. I'm really excited. And then the other book Mason got me is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. So Mason Mason knows that this is my favorite movie, and so he got me this amazing edition of the book, and I'm super, super, super excited to read this. I'm hopefully going to be getting to this in February. On to the things I got for Christmas for my family. So my aunt got me 3 books, one of which I asked for, like I told her I was interested in this book, and the other 2 she just guessed. The one that I mentioned that I was interested in to her is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I am planning on reading this month in January, actually. And I know that this is about a girl who is reckoning with the fact that the relationship she had with a teacher when she was a teenager might not be the consensual, formative relationships that she thinks it was. Then the other 2 books my aunt got me are The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis and World of Wonders by, I can't say that name, I'm so sorry. Queen's Gambit is based off of the TV show that I've watched and enjoyed on Netflix, but I recently actually did start the book and I DNF'd it. So maybe one day I'll get to this, but I DNF'd it, I'm sorry. However, I did recently just finish World of Wonders, and this was a really nice, like, personal essay book of personal essays that are basically all based around an animal or a plant or something of that sort. And it is illustrated. You have different illustrations that go with the different essays that she is talking about of different animals. She tells you a lot about the animals and about like their habitats, the way they live, and she always relates it to her story as well. And so that's really, it was a really cool way to do it. And just like all like sort of books that are made up of collection of things, there were some that I loved and there were some that I didn't love as much, but that's just how these books go. For Christmas, my sister got me a book, and that book is Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. I'm actually reading it right now. I'm this far into it at the moment, and it's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really happy she got this for me. I can't really describe the plot to you, but if you stick around for my wrap up, I'll be able to describe it then. Okay, and moving on to the final stack of books, which is the stack of books that my mom got me, or my parents, but my mom does most of the shopping for Christmas. The first three books that I'm going to talk about all go together because they're part of a set, and they are the Vintage Classics editions of some Jane Austen books that I did not already have. I already had Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Persuasion, so she got me Northanger Abbey, Mansfield Park, and Sense and Sensibility, and she got this for me because I love Jane Austen. I've wanted the complete set for a while now, and so she just got them for me. I'm really excited to have these and have the full set now to show. I love collecting books by authors that I love and books that I love, and I have not read Northanger Abbey yet, but I'm excited to get to it. I am about to reread Sense and Sensibility, so I'll let you know my rating when I do that. And then Mansfield Park, I gave 3 stars. I didn't love it, but it's still Jane Austen. So my mom also got me the 3 books that are out in Mistborn Era 2. So that's, the first one is Alloy of Law, the second one is Shadows of Self, and the third one is The Bands of Mourning. And I've wanted to read this series for a bit now because I loved the original Mistborn trilogy when I read it like a year ago. I didn't read it in 2020, but I read it in 2019 in the fall, and I wanted to get to these sometime soon because I finished the rest of the Cosmere. This is the last bit of the Cosmere I have to read, and so I would really like to get to these soon. And I actually am. I'm going to be starting Alloy of Law in January. Then she also got me My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. This is a book from an author I've been wanting to read more of. She wrote Rebecca, which is one of my favorite books, and so I've been wanting to read a little bit more from her, and so she got me this, My Cousin Rachel. And she also got me Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I've been wanting to get into Robin Hobb as well because her fantasy just really appeals to me. I'm not exactly sure why, but Assassin's Apprentice, first in the Farseer trilogy, about a illegitimate heir that is trained to be an assassin instead of a prince. And that's all I know about it, other than it's sad and character focused and moving. And then the final book in this book haul, also gotten for me by my mom, is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This is the UK hardcover edition because I just really like the white with the pink and the blue like people on it a lot. Like I really like white covers or like cream covers, and so I wanted this one and she got it for me, and I'm really excited to read it because it sounds awesome. It's a literary fiction about performative activism, and I know Emma from Drinking by My Shelf really likes it, so I'm excited to give this one a go in the new year. I'm not sure when I'm getting to it yet. I was gonna put it in my 5-star predictions video. I'll link that if you want to check out which books are 5-star predictions. Sword of Kaigen and Assassin's Quest might be on there. And My Dark Vanessa. And I wanted to put this on there too because I do predict that this will be 5 stars. Maybe it won't be, but I predict it. But I'm not sure when I'm going to be reading it yet. I feel like I need to read it when I'm in the mood for something like this. So like a literary fiction. I don't read literary fiction a ton, but I do love it when I read it usually. So I'm really excited to give this a go when I'm really craving some literary fiction. Okay. Book haul thumbnails are so problematic. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. I can't hold these anymore, so bye!